Hi, I'm Brad.
And I'm Curtis.
I'm Brian.
And we're High Valley. And this video is for Gibson.com and Epiphone.com.
Brad, Curtis, and Brian from High Valley are here in Toronto at the Gibson showroom. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you much, Lee.
And your new CD just came out in September.
Sure
September
did.
14th, we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah. And how are we doing at radio? I hear we're doing very, very well with First Single Combine.
Yeah, both, we had I Will Stand By You did great, and on the Combine, of course, Paul Brandt wrote with us and shows up in the video, and the single and the video are both doing real well on Billboard and on CMT, so.
We love Paul Brandt. He's a Gibson guy too.
Yeah, we love him too. Yeah, he's been super awesome to us.
Now, since we're on the Paul Brandt subject, how did you guys end up hooking up with Paul Brandt? Like, how did you end up working with Paul? Like,
His
how did that happen?
dog just showed up at one of our shows and with a business card in his. No, Paul heard us at the CCMAs in Regina, and we were doing a showcase there. Left a business card. We called the number on that card instantly, and a few days later we were on tour with Paul, and one thing led to another. We ended up doing the CCMA Awards When You Call My Name performance together with Paul last year in Vancouver, and he ended up producing part of our album, and it's just been phenomenal. More tours, writing songs together. It's just every time we think he's done enough, he always steps up and does something else cool for us. So.
Which in the country world, and especially in Canada, Paul Brandt is a superstar. I mean, we can't tell him, a humanitarian CCMAs. So for you guys, that has given, a lot of validity with radio stations, but yet at the same token, having Paul Brandt is not just all about Paul Brandt, but you guys, having him take you under your wing, but you guys have proven yourself so much on your own. So, what's that been like?
Well, we obviously we're brothers and we grew up together, but our band's been together for 14 years. So Brian was 9 and I was 12. Curtis was 6 when we started, but we've just been going for a super long time, working hard. I think in 2001 we already did over 100 shows, and then we started doing 150 shows a year, and it just got pretty intense. And finally we signed a record deal down in Nashville, and first record just came out on September 14th. So if it took us 14 years to become an overnight success, then I guess that's what we want to hear.
All before you're 30.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so being brothers. Being brothers.
Yeah.
Does it drive you insane sometimes? There are a lot of bands with brothers, combinations of brothers in it. There could be good parts about it, but really hard and difficult parts. Because you're family.
Yeah.
Criticism amongst each other. How does that dynamic work out that you might not want to punch each other on stage or bash them with your mandolin, which I see you've got a bit of passion.
It's actually a pretty dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
The fact that we're brothers doesn't bother us, but it does sometimes create problems, maybe, but we've kind of, over the years, we've kind of learned how to deal with problems and make sure we're over things that we need to be over before we're on stage, so that we can play with the right attitudes and just have a good time, because that's what we want to do on stage. And we've kind of learned to deal with it, but it definitely gets heated in the van sometimes, but it's fine.
So if you want to hear a good fight, make sure you hang out in our van, and not at our concerts, because it just doesn't happen at our concerts.
So you're going on tour now with Carolyn Dawn Johnson.
Yeah, she's great, and obviously everybody knows that she's great. That's why she's the headlining act, and we're the opening act. So we're excited to get a chance to make new fans in Ontario. It's being Alberta boys, we obviously have the support from Alberta and Saskatchewan and Western Canada, but being able to make new fans in Ontario is really important to us. And so far we've been touring Ontario pretty hard this year, and it's been great to just see the support, and we expect more of it this week.
Now, interestingly enough, we're coming from Alberta. Fans in Alberta, let's talk about the difference. Do you find fans in Ontario are a little more reserved? Are they more open to you than Alberta? Do you see a difference in the fans?
I'd say initially, no prophet is welcome in his own hometown. So it's at first, when you're local, you're just local, and you kind of have to get out of town for people to appreciate you locally. So the first time we went out to Ontario, people treated us like, superstars. I remember we had this little show in Aylmer, Ontario on a Monday night, and 650 people showed up. And
that was the whole town.
They're like, what?
Pretty much.
And now we go back to Alberta, and a lot of people are showing up and treating us real good, but it never took Ontario long to catch on. They were there right from the beginning.
So this year's CCMA is coming up. It's going to be actually in Ontario, in Hamilton. And I think we're going to see you guys there with the success we seem to be having so far. This year, I'm going to have a forecast here.
Yeah, a little prophetic word.
Gonna have a little, like, a psychic moment that High Valley will, definitely be up there in the CCMA nominations.
Well, we
That
sure.
would be nice.
Yeah, we'd love it.
So, there you go. Okay, gentlemen, I know you've got to get on this tour, and because your van's waiting, so let's
Yeah.
do this again sometime soon.
Thank you, we will.